eat, and vibe with the best Lusaka has to offer?
Then tune in to Hill Retail Rhythm only on Phoenix FM 89.5.
Yeah.
Get the latest deals, fashion finds, food spots, exclusive interviews, and hot giveaways. All straight from Monday Hill Mall, your number one shopping destination.
It's not just radio, it's a retail experience you can hear. Hill Retail Rhythm.
Every Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays
at 15:30 on Phoenix FM.
Mom, how do I become famous?
Serious. Parmalat is famous, right?
Yep.
It has special qualities too.
Parmalat milk is full of natural goodness to help keep your family strong and healthy. Because Parmalat is 100% real milk.
So,
Yes, and it's loved for its taste.
Milk for quality and loved for taste.
Parmalat.
hi Bugsy, it's Ida. I'm the one that likes the laugh how you like saying and
So
then
you can put
I
on
have
the
my
headphones
sister
if
right
you
over
want.
here just
If you don't want to, it's fine.
hi Bugsy, I love how you like saying how you living. Hi Gigi.
That's right, on Phoenix FM 89.5 Lusaka City, where only the best is good enough. And these are the weekend rhythms. I am Uncle Bugsy in the building, and I have a special guest with me this special long weekend, trade fair weekend. We call it trade fair weekend on the cover. So, yeah. And we're having those crossover interviews a little later as well. But first, we have this conversation that has been pending for a while now. I have Belinda Tboy in the studio. Good morning.
Good morning, Bugsy. How are you?
Very well, thank you very much.
Great.
Welcome to Phoenix FM.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here.
I'm happy to be here. I'm
Yeah.
happy to have you here, rather.
Thank you.
I am honored. I'm a big fan.
Wow.
Yeah. So
Okay.
you just from nowhere, you just popped up on my timeline, and then this content was like, okay, this is different, and I was like, okay, I was taken. It's good to finally have you here. Now your name on the socials is
Way to eat.
Way to Eat.
Mhm.
Why that name?
Why way to eat? Well, Bugsy, you know where as a nutritionist you're always asked, is Chihuahua good for you?
Right.
And when you say yes, and someone goes, okay, I'll be eating Chihuahua now.
Yeah.
Is milk good for you? Yes, milk is good for you. And then they all go now and it's now milk every day. And you're like, no, I didn't mean it like that. Yeah, it is good, but you need to consume it like this. So I thought, okay, I think the way we eat, I think is more important than what we eat. That's one. And then also I thought, okay, maybe let me use the word nutrition. But then I thought nutrition is not many people warm up to nutrition.
Right.
But when I say it's time to eat, yeah, everybody lights up like, hey, food. Even a 2-year-old gets excited when they hear eat. Yeah. So I thought, okay, way to eat, I think would go. And I pre-tested it a bit and everybody loved it. So I thought, okay, let me go with it.
Right. So what is Belinda Tboy? Where was she born and raised?
Sure.
School she attended.
Oh, nice. I didn't know you would ask me that. I'm a Ndola kid like you.
Oh!
Yeah. I'm a Ndola kid like you. Born and raised on the Copper Belt, Ndola to be specific. I was at Ndola Basic for the first 4 years of my schooling, and then went to St. Andrew's Primary School from grade 5 to 7. And then made it to Dominican Convent. And those days, Dominican Convent was like, yeah. So made it to Dominican Convent Secondary School, where I went from grade 8 to 12. I moved to Lusaka briefly during that time, was at Rhodes Park for a term. But, coming from a convent school, coming from Ndola, not just Copper Belt, Ndola. And coming to Lusaka, it was I don't know if I should say cultural shock or lifestyle shock. Yeah. I didn't really like it here. And I thought, okay, no, I need to go back. So I left the family here, went back to Ndola where I lived with an aunt and finished my school and then went to SA to do my tertiary education. where I studied human nutrition at the University of KwaZulu-Natal in Pietermaritzburg. And then, here we are.
So did you always want to be a nutritionist or?
No, I wanted to be a medical doctor like my father. And, where you feel, back then you want to be what your parents are to make them proud. But to my surprise, it didn't fascinate him at all because I had the points for medicine. And he said, no, it's not for you. He said, no, what do you mean it's not for me? No, it is for me. I'm going to make you proud. No. He says, I don't mean it like that. It's not like, So he explained this to me and said, I don't see you in this field. And he was being honest, really. And I really appreciated him for that. And he said, look, I've worked with a couple of nutritionists and I feel this is something you should do. So look it up. And so there used to be a careers talk on SABC at the time. I remember, I don't know if it's 1, 2, or 3, but there was a careers talk on nutrition on one particular day. And, nutritionists and dietitians were talking about what they do. And I said, okay, that's close enough to medicine, I guess. But coming to think of it, I'm happy that I did. I'm really happy in my career. And I think I would be miserable if I did medicine. Yeah? I go to hospitals and I don't want to be there. I don't want to be there.
So you sort of kind of saw your personality
and
thought, you know what? Not this one. Okay.
Yeah.
So now, what does a nutritionist do?
Okay, a nutritionist is basically one who looks at what happens to food from the time it hits your mouth to when you excrete it.
Right.
In simple terms. Of course, it has to do with a lot of physiology, anatomy, and so forth. But we are really looking at what happens to that food, how you chew it, how it's digested, how it's absorbed, and then how it's utilized by the body. We learn also about the deficiencies, what happens when you don't have, let's say, a certain nutrient. How can we improve or prepare food in such a way that nutrients are more available and issues like that. So that's what a nutritionist does. But you may also want to know the difference between a dietitian and a nutritionist. That's where I was also confused because towards the end of my school, I was like, okay, which route do I take?
Right.
Because in 4th year, nutritionists, you have to decide whether you're going the nutrition route or the dietetics. So the nutrition route is mainly around issues to do with prevention. Right. So we are in the preventive issues of nutrition. How do you prevent disease? The dietitian is more on the curative. Now that you are diabetic, how do we manage you? It's more clinical. They work more in hospitals. And so when I saw the hospital thing I said, no, I'm going the preventive route. So I did community nutrition, a lot of things to do with food security. So you look at the community aspect, how the food is grown, poverty, how does poverty affect nutrition and all those things so that you prevent. Yeah, they say prevention is better than cure. So I thought, I think I'll lean more on the prevention.
Okay.
Yeah.
So do you, where are you based, like office-wise? Are you required to have an office space of your own or a hospital or clinic?
It depends. In a country like South Africa, I think it's very clear. Dietitians are in hospitals, nutritionists are more in the community. But in Zambia, because nutrition is still in its infancy, it's still growing, we have more of nutritionists than dietitians. We have very few dietitians in the country. We hope to have more. But we have nutritionists who work in the hospitals here in Zambia, but they are registered with the HPCZ. Right. They have to be registered with the HPCZ. So, that's about it. That's the difference. For us, basically you can work in agriculture, you can work in water and sanitation, social protection, health, you can choose. It's very wide.
Okay.
Yeah.
So why do you think we don't have a lot of dietitians?
We don't have firstly, I think we started with nutrition in the agriculture field. NRDC was training, and at the time I also didn't know, because when I applied at NRDC, I was told to come with gumboots and a shovel, and I'm like, wait, where are we going with this?
Come on now. That's not what I want.
No, that's not what I signed up for. So when I saw the acceptance letter and the requirement, I said, no, this is farming.
This is farming. I don't
Yeah.
want to be a farmer.
Exactly. So nutrition was mainly, and it's quite rich. The training at NRDC is quite rich, where you are really taught everything from the scratch, like the soil, making the soil healthy to have nutrients, and then the food will have nutrients, and then, and so forth. But it wasn't, the clinical part of it was missing. Like what do you do with someone who has been amputated?
Right.
What diet plan do you, how do you plan a diet, for just anybody? And so that was really lacking. And so now we are seeing a lot of universities now offering nutrition and the clinical aspect of nutrition as well, which is just great. But at the time that I was going to school, that wasn't there. It was gumboots and shovels and whatnot. So, yeah.
Okay. So it's interesting. So now, how do you plan diets, like for just people generally?
Yeah, you have to look at a lot, eh? You look at the person's age, you look at the person's lifestyle, what do they do for a living? Is it a sports person? Like, I'm not going to plan the same way, for an athlete, the same way as you who sits here probably the whole day. So it's very different, of course, we say the diet usually not less than 50% should be carbohydrates.
Right.
So I really get worried when people say I'm on a no carb diet. Are you serious?
Yeah.
No, that's not right. So we are taught to not plan less than 50% carbohydrates. Yeah, 45 to 50%. And then obviously then about 10-15% should be your protein, and then the rest fat. And we, of course, healthy fat, preferably, your avocados, your peanut oil, your, nuts and seeds and so forth.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's basically, the formula, right? 50% carbohydrates and 10 to 15% protein, and then the rest fat. That is for the average person. But for the athletes, it's a whole different story. So I did a bit of sports nutrition at master's level, and I was actually shocked. They eat as much as even 80% carbohydrate, and I don't know. We don't even use percentages for them because it gets to the 400, 500%. So we really use now their weight and their goal, where they want to be, and so forth. So, yeah.
So basically every day should be carb day.
It should be a carb day, but again, you see, the way, it's about the way we consume these carbs. So every day should be a carb day, yes, but what form of carbohydrates are we, consuming? Oftentimes, it's simple sugars. It's, refined sugar. We need fiber to more or less prevent the sugar from gushing into your body like it owns the body or something. No, you want to refrain, the release of sugar in your bloodstream, and so mostly unrefined carbohydrates would be great. By unrefined, I mean, mugaiwa if it's in Shima. Right. Millet, sorghum, breakfast meal has nothing but starch. Right, very little nutrients, if at all, to talk about. So, and also these sugary drinks that have flooded the market. I'm sure yes. That's one thing that I think, sort of opened up people's minds when I did those videos on, the different drinks and so forth. We are consuming way too much sugar, and it's causing a lot of complications. And what's sad is, people didn't even know that it's harmful. You have someone who would come, let's say, at my place of work and say, fine, look, I'm from UTH. I've been told I'm diabetic. I just need guidance on what to eat. And I say, okay, fine. What do you normally consume? They'll tell you, well, I like Coca-Cola because I drive a lot. I'm a truck driver. I take a lot of Coca-Cola. I take a lot of energy drinks or whatever. And then you say, well, that's where the problem is. You're like, how? But I need the energy. I'm like, no, it's way too much energy coming from refined products. And so it's from there that I thought, okay, let me maybe do some videos that will, and I was really using what the manufacturer has told us. We just don't read,
We don't
Bugsy.
read,
That's
no.
where the problem is. All that information came from the labeling.
Yes.
It's either, well, the labeling is also not well labeled, it's not legible for the average person to read. And so, again, my humble appeal is that, manufacturers should make their labels clear. But we don't read. Even if it was made, legible, we just don't read. And so it was just me checking out what they are saying about the product and telling the general public to say, this is what it means. And this is what will happen if you continue consuming such beverages. So, yeah.
Because there's a lot of, to add to that, there's a lot of consumption of the same processed foods and whatnot.
Yeah.
A lot. Because sometimes we just feel, I'm quick, start from scratch and whatnot, but I can just order it online and just blah, blah, blah.
Yeah. Because you see, processed has different, we use the word processed differently. Food has to be processed.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Even cooking itself is a way of processing food. But I think where the danger is the ultra processed food. Right. Ultra processed meaning, in layman's terms, I would say, where the ingredients you can't even pronounce. It's tetrabendazole and whatever the funny names. So that is a sign that a food is ultra processed, when you can't even recognize what it is. So if I make, let's say, tumbua from flour, right, fritters, that's processing. It's a processed food, but it is not as bad as having, especially these foods in packages. With where they've added preservatives and colorants and all kinds of chemicals to it. That in itself is not a good idea. So it's the ultra processed foods that I think we need to lay off. I would be bold enough to say lay off completely. Completely. Let's do away with these things. Because I remember we were working on some projects to have what we call the Good Food logo in Zambia, and we started a campaign. And one expert in nutrition, who I said, oh, look, we can actually have a logo where we place on products that are considered healthier. Like, what products? She asked me. I said, well, products that are, of course, processed, but a healthier alternative, so that people don't have to struggle reading. They just look for the logo and say, oh yeah, this is good for me. Yeah, great idea, but tell me which products will have that. So it's very difficult to have an ultra processed food and have a Good Food logo on it, because the ultra processing itself requires that you add either too much salt, too much sugar, too much fat, because the manufacturer wants the products to stay on the shelf for as long as possible. Right. So that you and I, if you decide to buy the product next year, it will still be fresh enough. When I say fresh in quotes, fresh enough or not expired, and they still make their money. So it's really they are more profit driven. But we now as nutritionists are saying, no, it shouldn't just be about profits. Can we also think health? Yeah, we are in a country where by age 40, 50, people are being hypertensive and developing stroke and all kinds of non-communicable diseases. And funny enough, that's at the time when you're at your prime.
Absolutely.
That's the thing. You in your career, you'll be considered expert. When you think of the old DJs, we go back to them, we refer the radio presenters, and you think, okay, this is someone who probably you learn from. And there are also elderly nutritionists that I look up to and say, oh, this is who. But then if we are losing them at the age of 40, 50, continuity becomes a problem. And at national level, in terms of economic growth, we are also losing out. So I took it upon myself. I said, well, I'll start a page where I educate
give
the
this
public and
information.
give this information, for free.
For free.
Yeah.
Do you think nutrition should be? Is it in our curriculum, and should it be encouraged, continued, and if it's there?
Yeah. I don't know about now, but I know when I was growing up, there was home economics, and it wasn't really much. You're just taught how to make shepherd's pie and taught in a hoe and how to cook carpenter and things like that. And it wasn't really in-depth nutrition as to how someone should eat. And but now actually we are seeing a change, and we've tried to push in nutrition in schools, but it's still not there. Still not there. I do believe that it should be part of our everyday from a young age.
Right.
We need to learn it at school and at home, because how we eat today is really dependent on how we've been eating. So it's very difficult now, and I see clients who sometimes say, now I shouldn't consume food with salt. So I should cut down on sugar. So it becomes more difficult, and it's often at a time when they've already developed a condition, and now the doctor says, hey, no more salt, no more this. Now imagine how hard that is. But think about if you were not having all that excess when you were young, it would still be okay now. Yeah, but when you have to cut down when you're much older, it's like punishment, and you don't enjoy life anymore.
You become boring.
You become boring.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. All right. Thank you so much, Belinda, for coming through.
Thank you, Bugsy.
Anything that you would like to add on that I may have forgotten?
Really, I would also like to add on the fact that, I don't know, at least from what I get from my page, the health-seeking behavior is quite poor.
Right.
We shouldn't wait until we are told, hey, you have this condition, for you to, take an action. I think we need to continue promoting, that health-seeking behavior, like where you do medical checkups, from time to time, every 3, 6, at least a year, you go to the doctor and say, okay, how am I doing? How is my blood pressure? How is, because people say, okay, I'm diabetic, I want a diabetic diet. I'm like, the so-called diabetic diet is what we all should be eating.
Right.
But it's like we wait until, I'll wait when I have diabetes, then I'll come to Belinda for a diabetic diet. I'm like, no, it's the same food that we all should be eating. So yeah, it's really just a humble appeal to all of us to check our health and take action before it's too late. We need you. And sometimes you think your life is your own. Oh no, your life is not your own. Your health affects me, Bugsy.
Yes.
Your progress affects me. If you do well in life, I feel I do well in life. We say Zambia kuchalo. If you do well, it's like, you feel that, you feel a part of someone's success. And so it's really that. We all should be able to thrive and not just survive.
True.
Yeah.
All right. And so if somebody wants to find you on your socials?
Yeah, it's Way to Eat on TikTok. It's Way to Eat on Facebook as well as on YouTube. And I have my number there, and I do chat with people from time to time, especially in the evenings, and it's fun. People's questions, Bugsy.
I can imagine.
People ask all kinds of questions, and I'm like, wow, this is entertaining. I do have fun, and I'm grateful to all those who follow me on social media, and it's also me growing in my field. They also challenge me. Like right now, someone challenged me over some, these nutritive sweeteners, I said something about a specific, non-nutritive sweeteners. Like, basically it's sweet, but it has no calories. It won't make you fat, won't make you whatever.
Right.
And I said, those two are not good.
Mm-hmm.
And now I'm being challenged. Say, no, why would you say that? Why can't I
We like
enjoy
things.
that's the thing. And so show me what evidence is there that says, and I'm like, okay, fine. This long weekend, I'm sitting down, reading research articles, and then I'm getting back to it. So that's my next topic, actually. I want to talk about non-nutritive sweeteners, and quite all right, they may not contain any calories, but there is growing evidence that's saying that, some can be, cancer causing, and it can alter your taste buds and things like that. And just want to read up more on it, and so that I'm more confident to tell these people, say, hey. So it's really that. It's me being challenged to grow in my field, and also giving the information that I read, of course, in layman's terms, because, nutrition has a lot of jargon. Yeah, and we come on stations like this, and we are always, the calories, and people are like, no, we don't know that. So I always have to look for ways to say it in a simpler way. And that's a challenge, and accepted.
Nice.
Yeah.
Thank you so much once again.
Thank
for
you,
taking some
Bugsy.
time to be with us.
Yeah.
Well, hope to have you again soon.
Sure.
Awesome.
Just call on me. I'll come.
Okay, nice sir.
Thank
All
you.
right. On Phoenix FM 89.5 Lusaka City, where only the best is good enough, and these are the weekend rhythms. I am Uncle Bugsy, and Mandola the King. I'll be back in a jiffy. That was awesome.
Oh, thank you.
Nice.
So it's no longer Zimandola the kid, the king.
King.
Ah, okay.
We're in our prime now.
I see. Great.
Yeah, my prime, so I might as well, be in the prime.
Okay, thank you.